3, 2, 1. Georgi,
What's good?
please don't swear on the podcast.
I never swear. I'm a good person.
This is a clean podcast. There's kids watching.
Is my hair,
Okay.
my head in it?
Your head is in the shot. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Okay.
You look all right, George.
Okay. All right.
All right?
Whoa.
Relax.
It needs to be looking good.
All right. So episode 3 of the podcast here. It's
I'm
been
back.
a while since we did the last one. Georgie's back because of lack of guests. Pretty much that's the honest opinion, honest reason there. But he's back nonetheless. Lots of changes, Georgie, since we last talked. Last time we talked, you had just signed a professional contract in it.
Yep.
Professional footballer. And now, season's on hold. On hold. What are we gonna do?
It was a good game. One game and out.
One game as a professional athlete.
Call it a night.
I almost made my debut. For those who are just wondering, little fact is Coach Javi also signed a professional contract in it, just in case we needed.
You're not gonna tell him the story how you tried to sub me out. So you.
I almost did try to sub you out. You were cramping though.
I wasn't cramping.
You were
people.
cramping.
Don't believe the hype.
All right, he was fine. He wasn't cramping.
I
In
felt
the first
it.
half. In the first half.
No, I felt it, but I didn't cramp.
Anyways, we got the dub in the first game. Got the win 2-0.
Yep.
2-0.
LA.
And then obviously now, for those who haven't been watching the news, basically everything's been canceled, but not canceled, suspended. Our season's been suspended at the moment for at least 30 days, but could be more depending on how everything continues.
Not looking too good.
So therefore, unfortunately that happened. Fortunately, that has allowed us to
Be back here.
be back here, because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be back here in the podcast, huh?
Yeah.
We'd be busy. So we're back. We're going to talk about just random stuff. See what we talk about today, Georgie. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Unfortunately, we do not have Kitman Moises here. He's usually in the back. Just,
Too cool for us now.
So what have you been, how have you been feeling? Preseason, we went through a whole preseason. We were already in the start of the season. You feel fit?
Yeah. I feel really good, man. Honestly, I think the preseason leading up to the first game, everything was perfect. And then obviously because we had a game and then we had 3 weeks without a game. And then halfway through that, our season got suspended. So
Yeah.
kind of rough, kind of weird situation, to be honest.
I'm going to say that was probably the toughest or most intense preseason I've ever been a part of. Obviously, I wasn't going through the training sessions and physically participating, but I was there, and that was the toughest preseason that I've seen. From a player to a coach, that was definitely. We had 2 days for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. At one point, we had some 2 days and stuff, and then we got into our first game. I think maybe we were a little bit nervous starting the game. I don't think we were out of shape. We definitely, obviously, weren't out of shape. We were fit. I think we were just a little bit nervous. Made some bad passes at times, but at the end of the day, they say a good team finds a way to win even when they're not playing well.
That's what champions do.
So you're calling us champions, George? We're not there yet.
We're on champion
relax.
grind, actually.
Just because Liverpool aren't champions either, all right?
Liverpool are champions. Don't even get me started. Liverpool
Here we go. This is going to be a good one. We should start on this topic right here, George.
All right,
huh?
then we can start it. I got all day.
Liverpool is not going to win the Premier League this year because it's going to get suspended.
Liverpool won the Premier League
this
2 months ago.
Liverpool has not won the Premier League. If they lose all their games coming up and Man City wins all their games.
You know what they say about ifs?
I'm just saying. Ifs, yeah. Well, ifs,
25 points.
If they finish the season, they could have been Premier League champions.
25 points.
But
you tell me right now, in your honest opinion, if the Premier League just suspended the season, you will not give the Premier League to Liverpool.
No. Because you're not sure yet.
So, okay. So what would you do?
You'd suspend it.
And then what happens? So Leeds
Clearly
don't go up?
Give it to Arsenal.
No.
Give the trophy to Arsenal. That makes the most sense to me.
Obviously.
No, but that's actually crazy because there's never been a situation like that before. Georgie's obviously a very loyal Liverpool fan, if you guys don't know. Coach Javi is an Arsenal fan, unfortunately.
Not
probably
loyal.
the toughest team. I'm loyal, but the toughest team to support. If I wasn't loyal, I wouldn't be here right
Toughest team?
It is the toughest team to support. There's so many ups and downs.
Well, Liverpool. There's been more downs than ups in the past.
Yeah, but
Well, wait.
you guys are used to that, though. Like, you guys are used to just being bad
No.
or, like, almost winning.
Listen, we won the Champions League
You guys are used to almost
twice. Since I've been born. Liverpool won in 2005. and then we got to the final in 2007 and lost. So we don't care about that.
Exactly. See
And
what
then
I'm saying?
2 years in a row now.
But
we
you
get
guys
to
have
the
always
final.
been the team that's been all about your history. Like, oh, back in the day, Liverpool in the back in the day. But now you guys are in the present, and you guys might actually win the Premier League.
Not might.
Okay, you guys are gonna win the Premier League.
Yep.
When games restart and everything, you guys are gonna win. How's that gonna feel for you, Georgie?
Well, I've never seen Liverpool win the Premier League, so obviously that's going to be something different in this, 30 years it's been since Liverpool won it?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, too long. And it's going to feel amazing, man, to be honest. Growing up, everybody was a Man United supporter. Man City supporters now popping up left and right. So, always giving me crap on the side. And now it's payback. Simple. To be honest, I'm not one of those type of people. I'm just gonna let it be. Liverpool win. I'm a nice person. I'm not gonna be, in people's faces how Arsenal sucks. I will never say that to you.
You probably would.
No, I would not.
You probably would.
No.
You definitely would.
Never. See, I'm just a nice guy, man. My team wins. I'm happy. I don't talk smack to anyone else. I'm not like you. How about you tell everyone what your reaction was when Liverpool lost to Watford? How about we start, or Atletico Madrid? You were celebrating right in front of me, making fun of me. How about that?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's because you talk a lot of smack about everything. If Arsenal loses, you give me crap for it.
I've never given you crap for Arsenal.
You have.
When?
All the time.
When?
When we lose, all the time. Because it happens. I'm not going to lie.
I've never said anything bad about Arsenal.
All right, you going to play that one, Georgie? Because we're in front of the cameras and the podcast.
We can look on your phone.
Anyway, listen. I'm happy for you. I hope that Liverpool, finishes the season and they pull through. To get the
look, even if they
League.
cancel the season right now.
But I'm more of a supporter of coaches. So that's why I want Liverpool to win, because I think Klopp's a very good coach. I think we're living in a very, very exciting time where you have almost all of the best coaches in the world in the Premier League. You have so many good coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's always going to be really good coaches outside of it, but the amount of matchups that nowadays, before it just used to be all about teams, but now a lot of people watch games because they want to see how the coaches coach versus each other.
Yeah.
When Guardiola plays against Klopp,
we know who wins that one. So,
just saying, I want good coaches to succeed, and I think a lot of people bring them down. So I think Klopp has, and a fair play to Liverpool, who have given him the time that he needs to build his club. Because if they would have been one of those clubs that just, if they don't get results like that, he's out. I think he would have been out. Yeah. But because they trusted in his vision, his philosophy, and they gave him the amount of time, now they're going to see the success of Liverpool for quite some time. But you got to admit, you were probably feeling a little shaky in the last few games because they haven't been performing as good as they normally do.
To be honest, Liverpool haven't been performing that well for the past month and a half.
The stretch of games where things could have gone
it could have been really
downhill.
bad. But like we said, champions win even when they play bad.
Yeah.
Or not bad, but even not when they play their best. So
that's true. Going back to our game against Los Angeles Force, that was the season opener for us. I thought we could have done a lot better. I think there were some things that we definitely needed to improve. A lot of mistakes that were preventable, just things that I think a lot of it was nerves, but it could also be other things. Like, for example, we didn't have any game film on Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. We didn't know anything about them going into the game. We were going in blind, and then we had to figure it out as the game was going on. Obviously, it's no surprise that we didn't have a full roster either, because we had some players who were still waiting for their visas to clear. Our squad wasn't 100%, but nonetheless, I think we got the result, and it worked out. So now we can build. But I think they did all right. I think we had most of the possession that game, and I think they did well in the counterattacks, but I think ultimately we figured it out, and we got the dub.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take the credit, just saying.
Yeah. By the way, I saw you warming up, and I was like, oh, please no. But to be fair, like you said, like some of our guys were missing. Like obviously, they weren't eligible to play, visa issues, whatever it was. And some of the players that played forward didn't play forward. Like they're not forwards. Some of the people that we had to put in weren't.
Yeah, some guys were out of position.
Position. So it's kind of hard to adjust to that type of scenario, because it's kind of like a last minute thing. Like we didn't know until literally maybe a few hours before the game if people were eligible or not.
Right.
So it's kind of like a waiting game. You couldn't really fully prepare for.
But everybody was going through that. It's not an excuse, because everybody was going through that throughout the season. So the same issues that we were having, everybody else was having as well. So at least that was that was all right. That it wasn't like we had a disadvantage or
Mm-hmm.
they had an advantage or anything like that. It was even playing field. But obviously, you always want to be playing with your best squad with your full roster, everybody healthy, stuff like that. We also haven't had too many injury issues if you really think about it. For the intensity of the preseason that we had, the long hours that you guys were in there training 2 a days, and the sessions were intense. It wasn't like, the sessions were intense. I think we did a good job of overall monitoring it, making sure that, if people started dropping, we need to like reevaluate. But for the most part, the guys who had injuries were injuries that they had already been carrying previously. So.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good, to be honest, now thinking about it. Like, nobody really, no muscle problems at all, really.
No.
I can't think of anyone that had any muscle.
And it was a cold preseason as well. That was a tough part because we were going outside. There was a few training sessions where we had to shovel the snow.
Yeah.
I've never played in that much amount of snow.
Yeah, I mean, the scrimmage against Sporting.
We literally...
Like 6 inches of snow.
All right, it wasn't 6 inches, George. It wasn't 6 inches.
4 inches of snow. Whatever
it was like, it was like 2-3 inches of snow, I would say.
Yeah.
But it had fallen like 2 nights before. Yeah. So it was already like pretty hard when we tried to shovel it out. So it took a while. We were out there for a while trying to shovel it out. And for the Sporting one, we only shoveled the lines pretty much.
Yeah, and we had to play on it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no warm-up in that type of weather either. So you just kind of...
It's just an extra long warm-up, and you hope that as the game goes on, you start warming up a little bit. But even then, you're still freezing.
Yeah, it's still freezing.
But I think you guys did well. I don't remember anybody seriously complaining about that or making excuses or people trying to sit out because of that. And I think, that all that kind of stuff helps you because then when you're playing in better weather, when you go to California and you're not dealing with those elements, it makes it a little bit easier for you to go through that kind of thing. But that's just the weather here in Michigan, man.
You never know what you're going to
get. One day
it
could be 4 inches of snow. The next day it was like 56, 60 degrees out.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Sunny.
4 days ago it was like 60. And now it's like still kind of cold out.
Yeah.
So you never really know what you're going to get. It might snow tomorrow.
Could. You never know.
Never know.
So now it puts us in a weird place because now we are in effectively a suspension. And the way our season works, I'm going to explain it real quick. But the way our season works is we're supposed to have one season that ends in June, which originally had playoffs at the end of it. And then the next season, which starts in like late July, early August, that goes up until November. So now, with the suspension, now we're pushed back to where we have to reschedule those games that we're going to miss at the beginning. We're going to schedule them at the tail end of the season. And then that pushes, I don't know, does that push the next season back a little bit?
It has to. Otherwise, I mean, how are you going to fit all unless you play 2 games a week?
Right. But even then, I think it'll be... Then that means there won't really be a break in between the seasons. Yeah. You'll just go straight into the next
unless
one.
They take playoffs out from both.
Yeah. So I think the league is trying to figure it out. Nobody's worked on a solution yet. And the problem, the worst part of it all is the fact that it keeps changing. Like literally every single day there's new information where it's like, okay, well now instead of 4 weeks, now it's going to be 8 weeks. And then
it's day to day.
It's day to day.
You never really know.
Yeah.
Like all these states around us are like closing everything down.
I've never watched the news as much as I have now.
I'm like your journalist. I'm your number one source.
Georgie, I wake up and I have like 10 messages from Georgie with the latest news information about all sorts of stuff. What's closing down, what states are closing what. I don't even have to look at the news because Georgie's screenshots everything for me and just sends it to me in a message.
LA Fitness closed. That's it. Can't go to the gym no more.
No, they haven't closed yet.
Oh, yeah, they're closed.
They're not closed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to go later.
They're
going to be open.
Nope.
I checked everywhere. LA Fitness is not closed yet.
The governor.
Well, by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be closed. I'm not going to lie. But I can say the way it's affected us is the fact that simply we went from having a season to not having a season. So now as athletes, the biggest issue is you guys have to stay in somewhat of good shape because if the season does start as early as they say it's going to start, if you guys just stop doing everything and you guys go back into that, now we are risking injuries. Now we have to go back into a preseason. So right now we're trying to keep you guys in shape. But if it does get pushed back even further, is there really a point of the guys training as hard as they've been training for 8 weeks? Because that's just mentally burning out. You're going to burn out like that.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it mentally, like you said, it was the hardest preseason we've had. And 2 days and for like 2-3 weeks, we went so hard. And then having the first game was like, finally, the season starts.
Yeah.
And then having that 3-week break again where we had to wait for a game to come. And then as we were getting closer to the second game, everything got pushed back due to coronavirus. So now, like, it's more of like a mental game again, like to, stay in shape and like prepare yourself and keep going. Now you have to be on your own. Like we can't train as a team because that's like the rules now. Like we're not allowed to be doing that, just like everybody else. So, you know, it like groups of what 5 or 10 people or less or something.
I think
like
at
that,
the moment it's just less than 50 people gathering and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't want to put yourselves at unnecessary risk. And it's not necessarily that, but it's the fact that are you going to train? Are you really going to want to train for 8 weeks without playing games?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like nobody even knows like when we're going to start, so you can't really like put together a plan to be ready for the game that's coming up because you never know when we're going to start. So.
Yeah. I think it's important that you guys recognize as professional athletes, you guys have to stay in shape all year round. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, you know, go eat a lot of food and get fat and stuff. But at the same time, you can't train like you would as if you're in season for 8 weeks or 4 weeks or however long it is. But yeah, that's the weird part about our season is that our first game was on the 28th of February. And then the next game was supposed to be March 21st. Yeah. So even without the suspension, we had a 3-week break in between. So we'd already been training for about 2 weeks, preparing for the next game, which was going to be in a week. And then now here comes the suspension. So now we're at 4 extra weeks. So now it's 6 weeks without playing a game. And then if they say 8 weeks, now that's another 4 weeks. Now that's 10 weeks without playing a game. So obviously there's a lot of ways you can look at it. I know different teams are doing different things. Some teams don't want their players to leave. They don't want them to like go travel, fly out and fly back in because that's against everything that they're telling you to do. But at the same time, you can't ask your players to just stay locked in and not go anywhere if you have that long of a break, especially because a lot of these guys have families, right?
Yeah. So like, especially if it's 8 weeks or 10 weeks or 12 weeks, however long it's going to be, like you can't expect someone to just stay here and be without their family and kind of do nothing and just stay inside. So it's a bit tough. It's a weird situation. I mean, nobody's been through it, so it's kind of like learn as you go type of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think people should be doing, especially like professional athletes right now in this time?
I mean, everybody's on Twitch, man. Everybody's on Twitch. I mean, all the NBA players are like on Twitch. Like they're not, I mean, obviously they might be training on their own or doing whatever. Like I feel like everybody's probably going to try and do something on their own, like in this like period of time. Like I don't think teams are going to be training. But you should stay in somewhat of a shape, like just for your own sake. Like I was telling you earlier, like the mental side and the physical side, once you do get in shape, and then if you have to sit out and get out of shape and then force yourself to get back into shape, that's like, it's just too much. Yeah. So, I mean, at least for me, it's like, I might as well just keep it up, maybe like train 3-4 times a week and go on a run or whatever and kind of stay in somewhat of shape rather than just sit at home and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I think that's important is that you guys, we're definitely telling you guys that you guys need to stay in shape. It's not like, oh, just go on a vacation and then when we come back, we'll start preseason. You guys are professional athletes, so you guys should be doing things to maintain and to stay in good shape. But at the same time, we're not going to require that you guys are in as good a shape as you were during the season because it's naturally not going to be able to happen because you're not training in a team setting for 2, 3, 4 hours a day like we were, especially when we were doing 2-a-days. But that just shows the professionalism of the player is how many of you guys are going to be able to stay in shape and keep doing what you're doing. And it's not even just like going to the gym because now like even that you can't even go to the gym sometimes. No. Like some of these you can't even go to the gym, so you have to be careful. But I think you guys as professional athletes definitely we're asking you guys to stay in, to maintain and, you know, be professional about it. Don't go crazy and eat all the cake in the world. But yeah, it's a tough situation, man. And it puts us at a weird place. It puts me in a weird place because I'll be honest, the last few days, even it's only been, how long has it been since we
3 days?
3-4 days. And I'm already going crazy over here. I'm like stuck at home. I need to get my coaching fix. Like I need to be out there coaching. The daily routine of it all is the best part. Cause like, I don't know, when you're in a routine like that, to just break it and say, okay, you got nothing to do. You're just like, well, I'm just sitting at home. Like me, I live by myself at home, right? Like, what do? Do I just watch TV all day? Try to make YouTube videos? Yeah. What am I going to make YouTube videos on? I can't really go out and train. I mean, I can, but like, can't go out with a lot of players and train and show training sessions like that. So it's weird because you're stuck in a really, really weird place. But I think the important thing is to understand that it is a very serious thing that's happening, regardless of what some people believe. There are people who are getting sick and people who are dying, so you have to be careful. And the one thing that I think is important is, or more important than most things, is the fact that for young people like us, we're probably going to be fine.
Mhm.
If we do get it, we'll have a really bad fever and all those symptoms, but we're probably going to make it.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that if we carry it, and even if we're going to be okay, if we get into contact with people who are maybe elderly or their immune systems are not as strong, then we can put them at risk. So that's the biggest thing. It's not necessarily for yourself, but it's for the people who are most at risk.
And I think, like, speaking about that is just people are not really, like you said, they're not really taking it as serious as it probably should be. Like you see all those videos like on social media, like people are still on the beaches and people are going to the clubs and people are just, you know, trying to still live their life. Like, you know, a bunch of colleges, universities closed down and they're all, like, all the students, instead of being in the school, which is the whole point, like go home, stay like isolated, kind of maybe 2-3 people, whatever, they're out partying. So like, just like that is going to keep spreading until more drastic measures are probably going to get placed on us and we can't leave the house or whatever. But yeah, it's something that everybody's kind of, it's a day by day thing. Like, we're all learning as we go. Like, we don't know, like, the situations everywhere else. Like, we've never been through, I don't think we've ever been through something like this, to be honest. Like, we had the swine flu, Ebola, whatever, but it's never been this serious. Like, it's never been to this point to where, like, people are fighting over, like, toilet paper. Like, that's, like, insane. And you just, you know, be a good human being and, you know, worry about other people instead of just for yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it puts us in a weird place. For me, what I think I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start getting back on the educational tutorials, at least try to, on YouTube. Well, because we have no idea how long this is going to last. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to stay busy getting some work done that maybe I was, you know, behind on or whatever. But at the same time, I think while it's negative for most people, there are certain opportunities that it provides for some. The online community, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, all these people, everybody's on. My YouTube numbers are probably going up right now because what else are you going to be doing?
I checked mine. They're not going up. You guys need to start watching.
Shout out to Georgie's YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but me and Georgie made a bet because he's got a YouTube channel. We'll link it. We'll put it up here somewhere.
High quality.
I made a bet with Georgie at the beginning of the year, New Year's resolution, because he said he was going to start his YouTube. Not start his YouTube, but like take his YouTube seriously. So the bet was 4 videos per month on Georgie's channel. And he had to put at least 4 videos every month. Barely made it through February. He squeezed as much as he could.
I waited until the last 4 days.
He waited until the last 4 days and uploaded 4 videos.
And then we had to go to LA, so I literally made 3 videos in one night.
Yeah.
It was actually...
We're just cheating, but that's cool, Georgie.
How was that cheating?
What do you mean, how's that cheating?
What do you mean? How did I cheat?
You had like one training session and you split it into like 3 videos.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
At least he's trying. So a new month, we're more than halfway in, George, and 0 videos. So make sure you guys go support him, because if his numbers aren't growing and if he's not seeing any real improvement, then he's gonna lose motivation and he's gonna stop making these videos, and then he's gonna have to dance a traditional Bulgarian folk song in full costume at the end of the year.
Nobody's dancing here. All right.
Saying
the only person that's gonna suffer is you.
No,
because you're not gonna drink Monster for what is this? 1 year, right?
I don't know if we said 1 year, George.
I think it was 1 year.
It was like 3 months.
Whoa.
Well, that was the bet. Georgie dances in a traditional Bulgarian costume or uniform to a Bulgarian folk song, and I record it, put it up on YouTube, let the world see it. And if he does upload 4 videos every month throughout the whole year for 12 months, Coach Javi has to go a year without drinking Monster.
No, we'll make it 6 months. A year is too much.
Fair.
Like, I think you.
Yeah, we gotta make it fair.
Yeah.
I could do it. Let's be honest.
You can't do it.
I could do it. Let me just be clear on something. I don't want to promote any bad habits. Coach Javi doesn't do anything bad. All right? At all. For the most part.
Okay.
I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs, obviously.
That is true.
Anything like that. Never in my life. I drink energy drinks. I drink 1 Monster. Not every single day either. If you calculate it over the course of a year, I drink a Monster maybe 1 out of every 5-6 days. Or sorry. I drink a Monster 5 or 6 times a week.
Okay.
Out of 7 days.
I was about to say 1 every 5 days.
But
Whoa.
I never have more than 1 a day. And there are a lot of days where sometimes I go out without drinking a Monster. I don't always have one. Mm-hmm. But that's like my vice. That's like the bad thing that I do.
Yeah.
So I stay healthy pretty much in all other aspects of my life. But Georgie thinks I'm addicted, and he thinks that I can't stop, which I clearly can. But if that's the bet, then fair enough. I can do it for 6 months. It's not a big deal.
We'll see.
We'll see.
mean, I'm going to make my 4 videos easy.
It's not going to happen because he's not going to make his 4 videos.
By the way, how am I supposed to make videos now? I don't have any content.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to get creative. It provides us a good opportunity because we can still go out to the field.
Yeah.
We can still go to the field house probably and train on the field by ourselves and make videos, individual training videos, which I'm hoping, especially if this extends out a little bit longer, that's what I'm going to be doing. What I also want to do is I want to bring in more guests to the podcast because I know there's still a lot of guys here from the team who have a lot of MLS experience, USL, playing professionally in other countries. So I want to bring them onto the podcast and just share their stories a little bit. Today I'm stuck with Georgie, but there are a lot of other players. And maybe even bring the gaffer.
He would enjoy, man.
I think he would.
Yeah, he would.
I think he would. The gaffer has been, his name's Trevor James. If you are a DCFC supporter, Northern Guard member, then you know who Trevor James is.
He's a huge Javi fan, on YouTube.
He is a huge Coach Javi fan on YouTube. And he tries to charge me for every video he watches. Every time I see him, he says I owe him he's trying to charge me $6 per video, $3 per video, sorry.
He must be watching all the ads.
Yeah, he must be watching all the ads. He better not be skipping through those ads. But he's been watching some of my videos, and maybe we can get him on here. I think for him, because of the amount of experience that he has, I want to get him to do a lot more detailed things like breakdowns of certain games maybe from last year, kind of like the masterclass videos that you see with the coach's voice, where he breaks down games, specific tactics maybe, and just let him, talk about his experiences and kind of pick his brain quite a bit, because I think that would be good for all the people watching out there. But we'll try to bring him on, and we'll try to bring in some other peeps onto the show. Obviously, you guys, if anybody's watching this, besides my family, my mom, my dad, make sure you guys comment down below what kind of stuff you guys want to see, and we'll try to bring it onto the channel. But we'll get back on it. I'll have guys on the podcast. I know there's a lot of guys on the team that want to get on this podcast and share some of their stories and have a little chat about their experiences. It's harder when you come on here because we talk all the time.
Yeah.
So all the things that we would have talked about on here, we've already talked about outside of this.
Yeah.
So I think when other guys come in that I don't know their stories as well, then I think it's going to make for some good content. But for this one, I just wanted to make a little bit of an update video, post some content, and kind of tell you guys where we're at. Obviously, this whole COVID-19 has affected everyone in the world. And there's, a lot of things that, especially like sports, and people don't realize that it's not just about sports, but there's also a lot of people who work at these venues, who work at these sporting events, who have made a living out of this, or these are their jobs. So for this to be taken away is really tough on them. So shout out to all those athletes donating all that money to pay their workers, especially if they can, if they have the means for it. But yeah, hopefully everything will be okay, and we're gonna be just looking at this as something that happened in the past that, we'll be better prepared for next time around. All right, Georgie. Well, shout out to Georgie. And obviously we got to give a shout out, as you guys can see, to the Champion Grind. Use my code Javi10.
Well,
don't bring it up, Georgie.
He's
gonna bring it up.
We might not finish this podcast right now. So Javi, do you want to tell everyone what you said?
I had a fantastic joke at training the other day. I thought it was perfect. There's some jokes that, and I wasn't even waiting for that one. Like, I didn't have that one in my head. I came up with that one on the spot. It was a great joke. All right, here's the joke. I'm going to tell my side of the story, and Georgie can, if he wants to tell his, he can tell his. So I'm a loyal supporter of Champion Grind. I'm a sponsored athlete. I have my own code, Javi10. Use it if you want to get 10% off of Champion Grind products at championgrind.com, especially in times like these where you should support small businesses because, they're struggling. Anyway, we were at training. And we were playing this 6v6v6. So it was 6 versus 6 round robin tournament, 3 teams of 6. And we do this a lot in training, especially when we're preparing for matches. It's like a really fun way for them to enjoy training, have an intense training session at the same time, and play some games. So I divided the teams up into 3 teams. I had Team Commander for Matt Lewis and his 5 peoples. I had Team Kevin and his 5 peoples, and then I had Team Champion Grind. That's what I called it, Team Champion Grind. Obviously, captain of that was George Chamakov. And so we were, as the training session was going on, I had him do a bunch of different things leading up to the 6v6 round robin tournament. So you'd get points after at the beginning we did some touch ladders. You get points for that. What else did we do?
Um,
The knockout game that we
knockout
played.
game, yeah.
You get points for that. So you tally up your points, and then obviously the team with the most points at the end of the whole thing wins. I will preface this by saying that Team Champion Grind won the championship, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Team Champion Grind won the championship. I think I should have some footage that I can pop up in here if you guys lift in the trophy at the end. So you guys won, and I do take the credit for that victory.
Of course.
Because I motivated you to that victory. Sometimes you just need a little push to get there.
And you think that was
so after the first two games that we played leading up to the 6v6 tournament, you guys were down on points. One team had 4 points, another team had 2 points, and you guys had 1 point.
Yep, we had 1
You guys were in last place.
Yes, we were. Yeah.
So I noticed this, and I decided that I needed to push you guys a little bit. So as I'm counting out the points after the second exercise, I just said, I was like, in first place, we got Team Commander with 4 points, going strong. In second place, we had Team Kevin with 2 points in the middle. And not doing so well, just like his business, we got Team Champion Grind in last place. The moment I said that, though, people were like seriously offended. It was a good joke. It was a very good joke.
I mean, I wasn't offended, but everyone kind of just like, ooh.
I think even Moises wasn't even laughing.
Yeah, Moy.
Gaffer wasn't even laughing. He was looking at me like, "Did you just say that?"
Well,
I told Moy,
he's a sponsor athlete too, so
yeah,
you better watch out.
I told Moy, I was like, "Moy, didn't you think that was funny?" And he says, "No, that was disrespectful." He was like, "No, that's disrespectful. You gotta put some respect on the name. Put some respect on the name." I was like, "All right, calm down." But everybody was like looking at me like, "Dang, did you just make that joke?" Anyway, Georgie didn't say anything. Georgie kept quiet.
He was looked just like, on the ground and was smirking.
You had that face of, okay, I'm going to show you. And what did you do? You won the tournament.
Yeah, we won the tournament.
You won the tournament. I motivated you to win the tournament. So you can thank me for it.
Okay, so then my question becomes, you said you motivated the whole team. How does that affect anyone but me in that scenario?
Well, you being the captain of the team, you pushed your team. So I motivated you, and in turn, you motivated your team.
So you take credit for all that.
I do take 100% credit for you claiming the victory of the 6v6 tournament. And that training session. Fun training session, by the way.
Yeah, it was
intensity.
It was fun. It was really intensity. Fun. Especially in a day like that.
And you won. So that's the story. Did I say the story I didn't change it or anything. That's how it went down.
No,
right?
That's how it went down. But everybody's face was like, you just had to be there.
I'm a loyal Champion Grind supporter, so it was a joke. I mean,
we might release a statement or two in the upcoming days about some changes.
Might get released.
Oh, I mean,
break ties.
We're in talks.
Anyway, use my code Javi10 championgrind.com. Go support the boy Georgie. Copy yourself a t-shirt. We got hoodies. We got windbreakers. We got neck coolers. We got neck coolers. We got what else? We got socks.
Grip socks coming soon.
Very soon.
I would say in the next 3 weeks.
So you guys can get yourself some grip socks coming soon. We're finalizing how it looks, right? The samples and stuff like that. But they should look just like the regular sock, but just with the grip stuff.
Yeah, and
so
I mean,
good for footballers.
Yeah, we got a few samples in on the last training session. The guys liked them, so
nice.
Good start.
And then we'll have some gloves that are going to be out in the summer.
Yep.
And we'll have some swim trunks that'll be out in the winter.
Yep, perfect timing. If you're going to the gym, you want to hit up the pool, jacuzzi, whatever it is.
Check out the website. I'll link it down below, championgrind.com. Use my code Javi10. All right, well, that's it for this one. Anything else, Georgie?
I think we covered pretty much everything so far.
Little update video, little update podcast if you had some time.
Don't worry, guys. I'll be back on the next one.
You'd probably be back on the next one because I can't find anybody else. No, especially those who know the team, DCFC supporters, comment down some names of the guys you want to see. Any guys that you guys want to see on the podcast, maybe some of the big names, maybe some of the new names, some of the new faces that you guys want to get to know a little bit more of, and try to get them on this podcast. And hit that like button if you want to see the gaffer on here as well.
I think that would be
big
a fun
boss
one.
man.
That would be a good one.
Mister. All right. Thank you, Georgie. Catch you guys in the next one. Until next time. And adios, muchachos.
I knew you were going to say that.
Always got to finish it.